Hi, everyone, and welcome again to another fabulous Gather Creator Spotlight video. And today we're talking to the amazing Crystal Obregon. I love talking with Crystal because we have so many philosophies and ideas in common, yet her background and her perspective is from a totally different place than mine. So I always learn something new. And I always love talking about like her experience and my experience and where we meet in the middle and where we diverge, and all of hearing all of her client successes as well is always so fun. So welcome, Crystal. So glad that you're
Thank you.
here. Yay.
Yes, and vice versa, all of that.
Oh, thank you. Thanks. Well, it's just been so fun. I mean, we've known each other for several years. We just met through networking, but we live in the
hmm
same town, which is very fun. And it's always so great when we meet up with someone else who like we just get it. Like I
hmm
get what you're going for, right? I understand
hmm
your the reason behind your process and all of that. Like I can appreciate all of it, and I feel like we have that in common. So it's just
hmm
been such a wonderful way to stay connected, and of course having you here in the Gather community means so much to me and to our peeps. So super glad to have you here. Tell people who haven't met you yet a little bit about you, your how you got here in your life and business, or whatever you'd want to touch on. And yeah, tell us a little bit about you.
All right. So I'm a life coach of the high performance coaching variety, but all that really means is I actually really don't like that the high performance title
Right.
because it's not really the people that I serve are not necessarily trying to be the CEOs and the high performance athletes, all of that. They're not really there, but they are trying to live their best lives and really an extraordinary life.
Yes.
So all the principles apply. I don't really like the title, but I
So tell
really
us, so when you talk about the people that you're serving, so who are you serving, and like what are you helping them to do?
so I help women, and I mostly am working with groups now. I have a membership, the Extraordinary Life Tribe, and what I really help them do is we work through basically a personal development curriculum. So I'm trained by Brendan Burchard for high performance coaching, and the core principles are the 6 high performance habits, which are, let's see if I can get all these: seeking clarity, generating energy, raising necessity, and increasing productivity. And 2 others are increasing influence and being courageous. And I
Mhm.
know that a lot of what you do is big from my perspective on the courage and being bold.
Right.
Um, so that's the core curriculum that we go through, and then we build on that. We come back to it over and over again, but we also build on it because even working through it with my clients and my groups, it's always layers. We're always trying to get that little bit better, that little bit more clarity. And I know that for me, I've really, in this past year, developed an immense amount of clarity. Just, I know we've talked
Awesome.
around community and connection, and that's why I'm doing more with groups now because we learn more from each other
You.
than
Absolutely.
than just one on one. So it's funny, it's not a less premium offer to work with
Right.
a group at all.
Totally true. And you know what? So a couple of things that you said that I just love so much. Obviously, the community piece and working through the things that we go through in life, working through life with other people, right? It's just,
Mm-hmm.
it's required. Like we I think a lot of people think, oh, I'm engaged with a coach, and you think that this has to be this like one-on-one. It's like they think it's therapy, right? Where coaching really
Right.
is the opposite, not
Yes.
opposite, but totally different
Totally
thing
different.
than therapy. But I love using the sports analogies for coaching because
Mm-hmm.
that's when people really can, like, you can have a one-on-one coach, like think tennis players and stuff, but
Right.
really it's team sports where we really think first:
Mm-hmm.
football, baseball, soccer, and it's all about getting everyone to work together. And while we might not be working on a business together or in our family together, although it might be,
Mm-hmm.
it's the idea of we're in life together, we're a community of people, and
Right.
by understanding each other we can all get better in our lane, right? Whether you're
Right.
a shortstop or first base or catcher, you're still part of the team and
Mm-hmm.
you're doing your thing and learning how to be part of the whole at the same time.
Right. Right.
Yeah. And I love
Yeah.
that you touched on the high performance title. We haven't talked about that before, but I think that that's cool because, I mean, I've listened to Brendan Burchard for years, and
Mm-hmm.
like that title doesn't bother me. I think because I
Right.
understand it enough, but I could see how people would be like, well, high performance, like I just want to, pay better attention to my, hobbies or whatever, like, or
Right.
I'm just trying to get through school and I need accountability partner and to remember why I even started in the first place, like that,
Right.
keep my drive. But, how does that equate to being a high performance? I think we all want to be our best selves, and that's what
Mm-hmm.
it's all about.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
So in your group, your membership
Mm-hmm.
group, which we haven't really talked a ton about the membership since we
Right.
started it earlier this year.
Yeah.
Um, but I know that you've done group workshops and things like that. So tell us a little bit about the group membership, the oh, I forgot it, something tribe.
It's okay.
Extraordinary Life Tribe. That's what it is.
Yes.
So tell
Yes.
us a little bit about what that looks like and what the members are getting out of it.
So what that really looks like right now, it's really more cohort based. So usually you're with that same group for a year. I could change it. I'm not sure, but what that is really right now we're meeting several times per month on more of the personal development curriculum. And then we also have a more of a mastermind type part to it, and that that comes into it in our usual calls, and then we'll often have bonus calls. We meet on Thursdays, so if there's a third, Thursday, or there's 5 Thursdays, I'll throw in an extra one, or
Yeah.
we'll have quarterly, we'll have extra bonus workshops that are a little bit longer just based on what's been coming up for the group.
Yeah. Oh,
So
that's
what
great.
they're yeah, so I mean I'm kind of telling you the what, but really I feel like what's happening for them is they're having a place to come where they get to talk about their goals, their big dreams, maybe their obstacles that they're coming across, where they really can focus on themselves,
Mm-hmm.
where they can't necessarily, one of the group members said it perfectly, is I can't necessarily spend the whole time when I'm having coffee on a friend with a friend talking about
Talking
me.
about yourself and all the
Yeah,
things you're
yeah,
trying to.
you would.
Yeah.
So it's really a place to come because yes, we all want to improve ourselves, but we don't actually all want to do the work and really focus on it. So that I think that's where the tribe comes in, of having that place where you're all trying to do something a little bit bigger or a little
Yeah.
bit more with their lives, even though generally their lives are perfectly great.
Right. Or
But they're,
good, and you're
yeah,
looking for great, right?
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So it's that place where they come. I mean, it's
Yeah.
like our friendship. It's not every person could I talk to about what where we want to go. And
Right.
I know you have big, big
Dreams.
goals and dreams too. And not everybody's going to understand that.
Right. And the other thing I think that I'm hearing you say about having the group together for so long is, you know, there's a lot of people who I have this like weird shadow on myself. Hopefully it's not too bad. Um, a lot of people who will, as givers, and
Mm-hmm.
and those who tend to take care of everyone else before themselves, right? If you're
Right.
in a group, like a group of friends, you're
Mm-hmm.
a lot more likely, if you're that person, to listen to what everyone else says and not really be a part of, hey, this is what's happening for me voluntarily, right?
Right.
But when
Yeah.
you're in this kind of group, right, you make sure as the facilitator to
Yeah.
make sure to touch on everyone, so
Right.
everyone gets some space and
Mm-hmm.
everyone gets an opportunity to be a part of the discussion, instead of those who are talkers talk more and those
Right.
who are less talkers
Yeah.
end
Yeah.
up being in the shadows.
Exactly.
Yeah, really great,
Exactly.
really great. And it's so
Yeah.
needed. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I run across people all the time who are just, they struggle with standing up for, hey, I'd like to ask for help about this.
Right.
It's
Right.
so hard.
It
Yeah.
is. It
Awesome.
is.
So good. So the Extraordinary Life Tribe is good. So how do you like start a new cohort every few months, or how do you run that?
It's about every right now I'm going for about 3 times per
3 times a
year.
year. Great.
So when this comes out, um,
That's just going to be in a couple weeks, so early
yeah,
October.
okay, yeah. So actually, I will be getting ready to start a new cohort.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome.
for
Well, we'll make
November.
sure
Yeah,
to, obviously when this posts, we make sure to put your
right.
links and everything in there.
Mm-hmm.
So great. So you have one
Yeah,
starting in November. So that's
yeah.
awesome.
So I have one starting in November, and then the next one will probably is slated to start in
February.
February.
Yeah, February.
Yeah.
So you have other things that are getting started. We were talking about
Yes.
a minute ago. So talk about your other big thing that's getting started.
Yes. So I've been thinking about it for a while, and everything just clicked. So I've just started a brand new podcast, and so I've been working on it through the summer. So I'm starting with quite a bit of content. Yeah, by the time this airs, it'll be 13 or 14 episodes.
It's so good.
Yes, so that's really exciting, and it's really about what's exciting to me is it's really about different topics that I may that may come up in my group coaching that I know people need to hear more about, and it's really about just offering that perspective,
Yeah.
a different perspective at looking at your life for obstacles or ways
Yeah.
to just reach
Look at things
that next level.
differently. Yep.
Yeah,
Love it. It's
yeah.
so good. It's so good. And you have all these things that'll come up in your group sessions. And then
Mm-hmm.
maybe there's things that those people haven't really been talking about, but you know that there's someone out there who's going to find value. And so you have all those resources from your years of
Right.
experience at your
Yeah.
disposal too. So
Mm-hmm.
so many good things. Oh,
Yeah.
that's so exciting. So, and you said, so it's going to come out in October also?
Yes. Yes.
Yay. I'm so excited
Definitely.
for you.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah. And so now really what that means is that you'll either be able to read a blog, watch a video, or listen to a podcast. So
And that's
three
so important.
ways.
Or reach out and be a part of something in person,
Yes, exactly.
virtually in person, or maybe in
Yes.
person one of
Yeah.
these days,
Yeah, exactly.
which is so great. I read this or I heard this thing the other day. We often talk about how different people learn differently, right?
Mm-hmm.
They watch, or they have to participate, or they have to do it themselves and all these things.
Right.
But then I heard something recently that really hit home to me, which is really, it's not that those are all different people.
Right.
Like we might have our preferences, but
Mm-hmm.
everyone needs all of the ways
Yes.
to get that full kind of, it's like immersion, right? You think
Right.
of like a language immersion where you're
Mm-hmm.
talking and you're listening and you're writing and you're eating the food,
Right.
right? you have to
Yeah.
do all of the things, all the senses. And so you're really touching on all of the options for everyone to be able to really engage with what you have to offer. So it's really
Yeah.
great.
Yeah,
Congratulations on all that.
exactly. Yeah, and that's how I am. I'm definitely a big podcast listener. Sometimes I'm happy if people have videos because then I feel a little bit more engaged with them. And
Mm-hmm.
then sometimes I just want to read it
Yeah.
because that if
You're
it's
in a
heavy
quiet
content,
place, or yeah,
yeah.
or you need to like read a sentence and read it again and read it
Right.
again. Like what,
Right.
wait, this is hitting me in a way that I need to sit here and absorb.
Exactly.
So true.
Exactly.
So with the podcast, with the
Mhm.
new cohort, we're
Mhm.
here in October, which is the beginning of the fourth quarter of,
Right.
oh my gosh, like the craziest second year ever on the planet.
I know.
Like, so even though, so you have those great things launching, what else are you looking forward to between now and the end of the year? Like what's just for you? Like what's exciting that's coming up for you?
Oh, so much. So much. So one of the things I've done, my Design Your Decade workshop, I made that into
Which
a
I love.
do-it-yourself,
Oh,
which,
nice.
yes, because it is great to do together. And it's not that I won't ever do it in person, but it's something that you could take and do a little
Spend a little
more, spend
time.
some more time and do
Mhm.
on your own time. So
Yeah, because I
that's,
loved it in person, but I can totally see because you're a great facilitator, which is great because you made it a do-it-yourself with video, I assume,
mhm,
which means
yes,
that you are still facilitating it.
right,
And because your direction and like describing it all was totally what like turned me into being able to do the work.
right.
And so yeah, to be able to spend your own amount of time or
Mm-hmm,
just do one today because
right.
that's how much time you have to dedicate to it today,
Yeah,
where it might be harder to do like a 3 hour block, you can do a 45-minute block
right.
and make a difference in your thought process
Mm-hmm,
for your design of your decade. So cool.
right.
I know,
Yeah,
it's just like you
I
feel
know.
free to use this recording in your description because I know I was
Yeah.
just like, yes.
Yeah, so that's been really fun to get that out there more, and it's a process that I do try to do once a year because our goals and dreams, they get to change. You're not just because you did it once and like
Yes.
I write it every day doesn't mean that it doesn't. That's where the clarity comes in, and that's where engaging with it every day really.
How did you get yourself to make that a daily habit?
Mm,
Because we all know about the benefits of
mm-hmm.
like a daily ritual or
Mm-hmm.
gratitude journaling or all these different
Right.
ways, whether it's a morning routine or an evening routine or both, or any kind of like really regular practice.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I have one that I finally like that just worked during COVID, but there's others that I would like to develop over time and haven't been able to
Right.
stick. So how did you
Yeah.
get that to stick for you? Because you talk about that like every time I talk to you.
I know. It's a big deal. I think so. It's coming on 2 years since I started doing it. And so I make it a ritual. I have a special notebook that I put out on my counter, and I make it part of something that I love doing, which is drinking my coffee in the morning. I know
Coffee
we're,
friends.
we're soul sisters. we, we need to have coffee soon to
I know we
in
should actually. That would
person.
be great. Yes.
And so I make it part of that. And I do it with, so I do 5 things I'm grateful for, my 10 dreams as if they'd already happened, and then one shorter term goal that I'm working
Working
on
on right now.
right now. And really it's like any habit. It's you start to crave it because it makes you feel good. And for
Mm-hmm.
me, making me feel good means it makes me excited about the day ahead and
Yeah.
doing the work. And this summer, I had a little harder time being completely consistent with it. And so I'd miss, a few days here and there. And I could tell. I could
Mm.
tell. And part of it was just, having an 18-year-old at home and not, the nights were
Things come up.
later and the mornings weren't as good.
Right.
And now that I've really gotten back to it, I notice it. It's an excitement to write those things down and really envision them happening.
Awesome.
That
That's really
keeps
cool.
me that keeps me doing it. But
Yeah.
really doing it while I'm drinking my coffee. There you have it.
Right. I love it. Well, because, this last couple of years, like you said, it's been a regular habit for a couple of years
Mm-hmm.
for the most part, right?
Yeah.
99%. And there's always exceptions in life.
Mm-hmm.
But, seeing what everything that you've built in the last couple of years, like
Right.
talk about results related to a practice, right?
Yeah.
The fact that doing it in the morning helps you get excited about the day and
Mm-hmm.
building your business and serving your clients and creating your new things. And then you
Right.
launched your new things. And I mean, and it just, step by step by step by
Right.
step, everything that you teach, here it is in real life.
Yeah.
And, there's nothing better than being the example of if you do what I'm teaching, because I've been doing what I'm teaching and here we
Uh-huh.
are, right?
Yeah.
So it's just so valuable to be able to model that for your clients
Mm-hmm.
and be able to have them see, wow, this really works because look at Crystal.
Yeah.
And
Look
not
at
that it
Tracy.
works
And
like in a magic trick kind of way, but
right.
that
No.
the effort matters.
Yeah. And it gets you through the obstacles because we both had kids at home for the last year and a half.
Right.
And wow, having them at school. Oh my gosh.
Feels a little
Right.
different.
I mean, it was all a valuable time of being, making
Right.
those connections with our kids. And, we'll never have that time back. Speaking
Right.
of the devils.
Speaking of, all right, they'll be quiet now. It's all good.
Yeah. But, it kept me connected, even all the obstacles of the year, even when about a year ago, I took a little bit of a step back and like, okay, I think I'm just going to paint like the whole inside of
Well,
my
yeah, you
house.
painted your whole house, right?
Because at least it's something concrete and I can do it.
Yeah.
And even
Well,
when
and a
it's,
year ago, everything was very like super mystery,
yeah,
right? Yeah. I
yeah,
mean, we had to go through the process from March 2020 through now and the
yeah,
roller coaster and the peaks and valleys and
yeah. And the
yeah. So
fires where we couldn't even go outside.
fires, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. And yeah, and so to know that it's okay to be in that place
Mm-hmm.
and at the same time know that you'll get back to it
Right.
because you know that it's supportive later. So all the
Yeah.
good things.
Yeah. And just having a place like this, the Gather community,
Mm.
because that's also a big part of it. I know that helped me gain my clarity as far as we had the event last December. And it's like, okay, what am I doing next? Oh, I'm going to do this next. And then
Yeah.
that's what
Right.
got my
Actually,
membership finally starting.
looking at last December's recording would probably be really valuable because
So,
because it was a year ago
mm-hmm.
and we still didn't know what to expect and
Right.
here we are. Actually, that's a really interesting idea. I think I have to go back and look at some of those.
Definitely.
That would be fun. Well, awesome. So this is so fabulous. So with your tribe, your podcast coming out, your do-it-yourself design your decade, which everyone I highly recommend. You got to try it out. It Crystals, that workshop was one of the big catalysts for me realizing that I could allow myself to imagine past the next year or two.
Right.
It really made a difference. And I think that a lot of us, especially in this crazy time, right? We're just
Mm-hmm.
like, what's next year going to look like? And we don't know. How can we
Right.
possibly know what 10 years from now is going to look like? It's okay if you don't know, but what do you want it to look like?
Exactly.
So good.
Exactly. Yeah.
Makes me so excited just to even like say that out loud because that's
Right.
so amazing. Awesome. Great. Well, so this is coming out mid-October. Any parting words before we close out for today?
I don't think so. I think just, just stay connected. Stay connected to your dreams. Stay connected to people
Mhm.
that will build you up and that you can, you don't have to make yourself small, that you can let yourself be your big badass self, right?
Love it. Yes, 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 yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I love it. Thank you. That's the perfect wrap. It's the best phrase ever. And it's just such a pleasure always, as usual, to just even have a
Yes.
conversation with you. And now this is
Really.
recorded forever. So we get to
Yay.
enjoy it again. And
Fun.
I will talk to you again super soon. Thank you so much for being here.
Sounds great. Thank you, Tracy.
Mwah.